is 3:30, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Irving Buildings and Standards Commission meeting for September 24th, 2025. We work from a prepared agenda. Due to the requirements of the Texas Open Meetings Act, all comments to and deliberations by the Commission must be strictly limited to matters posted on today's agenda. Anyone wishing to address the Commission should ask the moderator for permission to speak on their specified item number. All persons to speak must be sworn in. If you plan to present evidence in any case today, that evidence must remain with City staff and become part of the case master file. If you need a copy for your records, City staff will be happy to assist you with that need. We limit the time for staff and ownership to 10 minutes to present their case. However, for citizen comments, you are limited to 3 minutes. You may request more time at the end of the 3 minutes. A decision will be made whether or not to grant you additional time. A Spanish translator is available if needed. Ms. Silva, Senior Administrative Assistant for the Code Enforcement Department. If anyone in the audience plans to speak, would you please stand as you are able and raise your right hand to be sworn in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to present is true and correct? Thank you. Ms. Silva, do we have proper notification on all cases that will be heard this afternoon?
Yes, the agenda for this meeting was posted in accordance with law at least 72 hours prior to this meeting as certified by the City Secretary's office. A notice of this hearing, as required by law, has been advertised in a newspaper of general circulation in the city at least 10 days prior to this hearing. A copy of the notice is included in the packets provided to the Commission. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Linda Silva. Soy secretaria del Departamento de Código de la Ciudad de Irving. Soy la traductora por esta tarde. Estaré disponible por si alguien necesita ayuda. Gracias.
Thank you. This will move on to our items on the consent agenda, which are the minutes from our previous work session hearing. Do I hear any motions from the Commission to approve our minutes from the previous meeting?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes.
We have a motion from Commissioner Metters. Do I hear a second?
I second that motion.
And a seconder, Commissioner Smith. Okay, motion passed unanimously. We'll now move on to the items for individual consideration. We have a presentation from City staff.
Thank you, Fernando. Blake Peoples, Bidding Programs Coordinator, here to present Agenda Item 3, Continue Case BSCP 2011-0004, 2203 West Urban Boulevard. This is a commercially zoned property. The property has seen continued progress. A permit has been altered from a bakery to a white box shell. The plumbing, roof, and the foundation inspections have been approved. The property remains secured from public access as works continues. The contractor must complete the exterior finishes, windows and doors, and the basic electrical service. With that in mind, staff respectfully requests that Commission order the owner to appear at the November 19th, 2025 hearing to update the Commission. This concludes my presentation at this time.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this item? Welcome back.
How are y'all? Kenny Lott, here for questions.
You got a ballpark of a timeline for us?
I'm really shooting for 1 month. So our biggest delay right now is we're waiting on fire final drawings. So once they have those, we're talking 3 to 4 weeks, and we should button up the exterior. We should be within 2 weeks, roof within 2 weeks. Electrical, it's got electrical rough is going to be occurring again this week, and we'll have plumbing top out in the next 2 weeks.
Okay. So would you say that the substandard conditions to the building no longer exist?
Substandard.
Like walls buckling, holes in the roof, wires dangling upon people, that kind of thing?
There are none.
None, okay. When is this kind of thing considered closed? Because the building looks fine. I get that it's not something that can be used as, the permitting, but from just the building is not going to fall on anyone's head standard, it seems like it's up there.
Well, I can address part of this. So until the doors and windows are installed, it still has common access entry. So by Texas Penal Code 30-5, that means we haven't prevented anybody until that moment. Once we have doors and windows, by code, it's done.
It's required to be basically capable of being open for human habitation or human occupancy. Today, it does not meet that standard. So with the doors and windows being open and unsecured, it is not in a habitable condition or occupiable condition.
I guess this raises the question, if we ever find somebody, we find them based on the violations that still exist. Is not being habitable considered a violation? Because even if everything was fixed, but it wasn't habitable, wouldn't we, we'd be powerless to find them if it were the case, because there'd be no violations that still exist, even if the building has been declared habitable.
Well, I'll go back and review Chapter 8, but I believe we have particular provisions in Chapter 8 that speak to properties must meet minimum standards and be capable of being occupied or habitable. It is a minimum code requirement for the city, and so the very explicit code violations that this commission is used to seeing relative to the ones that are spelled out in the order explicitly, those are some of the violations. Those are actually not all of the violations, because if you see in some of the opening paragraphs of the order, we actually reference other sections of Chapter 8 of the Irving Municipal Code of Civil and Criminal Ordinances that are also in violation. So those are not all. It doesn't meet minimum code today, I guess is my bottom answer based on the current condition. And we are expecting it to be completed soon, which is why I think the staff's recommended order to appear for November hopefully will be the last time this commission has to see this case.
Mr. Boyle, I believe you've read.
The simple, easy one for which they have not met the minimum standards remains the absence of an essential utility. That's 830B10. We talked about this 2 meetings ago with Mr. Lott.
Okay. Sounds like you got the ball at the 1 yard line, so if you could just
We'll get it done.
get that over. Any other questions from the commissioner while he's up here?
Just along those veins, Mr. Peoples, could you comment on kind of the reasonableness of the progress that you're seeing there?
Yes, sir. Staff is definitely encouraged by the progress. Been by the property multiple times. There have been workers each time I went by. They're ensuring they keep the property enclosed as they're working on the doors and the windows. So I am encouraged by the progress they're making, and do believe that they will continue to make progress.
Thank you.
Okay. With that, we'll close this matter to the floor. Any other deliberations from the commission at this time? Okay. With that, I note that the staff's recommended order is to have all interested persons appear at the November meeting. Does any motions to adopt this this order from the commission?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend that we make a motion to adopt the staff recommendation in full.
We have a motion from Commissioner Metters. Do I hear a second?
I second that motion.
And a second from Commissioner Smith. All right, motion passed unanimously. Okay. All right, item 4, please.
Blake Peoples, Bid and Programs Coordinator, here to present Agenda Item 4, continued case BSCP 2304-0001, 415 West Pioneer Drive. This is a commercially zoned property. The photo on the left was taken on May 22nd, 2023. The photo on the right is the current condition of the property. Sidings and windows have been replaced. Fence posts have been placed for the new fencing. The owner has obtained the permit for the fence. Repairs to the front porch and deck are underway. A fence permit was issued on July 7, 2025. An alteration renovation permit was issued on July 8, 2025, which include the plumbing and electrical work. On August 29, 2025, a foundation permit was issued. With that in mind, staff respectfully requests that the commission order the owner to appear at the November 19, 2025 hearing to update the commission. This concludes my presentation at this time.
All right, while you're still up here, what violations still exist that's still to be done on this?
1 second, sir. Currently, at this point, staff has been unable to gain access to the interior of the property. We are attempting to schedule that. As far as the exterior of the property, they do have the required permits. We're going to work to get access to do that interior inspection to ensure that those violations have been addressed.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak to this item? Mr. Bertanzetti, did you want to speak to this?
Did he get sworn in?
No. Ms. Bertanzetti, I need to swear you in real quick over here. Do you solemnly swear that your testimony is going to be true and correct?
I do.
All right, thank you.
Most of the violations that pertain to the exterior are corrected. We have, the foundation has been repaired. We have it approved by an engineer, but they haven't sent the official report to the city or me yet. The plumbing and the electrical will be probably completed by the end of the week. There will be certain things that will be needed to be repaired on the inside, but that is pending these other things, just minor. There's a hole in the bathroom floor has to be replaced, and the ceiling in the far east bedroom has to be replaced. But there's nothing structurally unsound about it. Everything is funded, and the work is going on as we speak. Anything that you would like to ask?
Yeah, is there any questions from the commission while he's up here?
Okay. Yeah, it should be completed fairly quickly.
Okay. With that, we'll close this matter to the floor. Again, in this case, the staff's recommended order is to just continue the case in November. So,
Okay.
with that, do I hear any motions from the commission at this time?
Motion to adopt the staff's recommended order in full.
We have a motion from Commissioner Simon. Do I hear a second?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a second to adopt the motion in full.
And a second from Commissioner Metters. Okay, motion passed unanimously.
Okay.
Very good. Item 5.
Blake Peoples, Bid and Programs Coordinator, here to present Agenda Item 5, continued case BSCP 2403-0002, 1016 Compton Avenue. This is a vacant, single-family dwelling that is substandard and unfit for human habitation. The notice of violation was issued on March 1st, 2024 to complete repairs or demolition of property. Since that time, a total of 5 deadlines have been missed. The deadline to obtain a building permit was missed on March 18th, 2024. Begin deadline work was missed on March 18th, 2024. On April 11th, 2024, the deadline to submit a scope and schedule was missed. April 18th, 2024 was the deadline to complete our repairs or demolition of the property. The photos presented represent walls or other vertical structural members which list, lean, or buckle in excess of 1/4 inch horizontal measurement for each of 1 foot of vertical measurement. The photo on the left was taken on July 12th, 2024. The photo on the right captures the fact that the violation remains and that the front porch leans inward. Dangerous conditions exist at the property, including a floor or roof that has insufficient strength to be reasonably safe for the purposes for which it is used and to support the weight of emergency personnel and equipment as determined by the fire chief. Damages can be found throughout the exterior of the property, including a floor, exterior wall, or roof that has holes, cracks, or loose, rotting, warped, or protruding boards that may injure a person. Inside the structure are walls or ceilings that have holes, cracks, loose plaster, defective materials, or structural deterioration that may defeat the purpose of the wall or ceiling, or they may fail to protect the occupants of the structure from danger of collapse or fire. Also, parts that may fall and injure a person. Staff last spoke with Keisha Armstrong, partial owner of the property, on September 18th, 2025. Ms. Armstrong stated that she and her family are working through legal issues concerning the sale of the property and that she would keep staff updated on any changes. With that in mind, staff respectfully reminds the Commission of the adopted orders and findings and make the following orders. Staff respectfully requests that the owner be ordered to pay civil penalties in the amount of $15 per each of the remaining 8 violations per day from April 24th, 2025 through September 24th, 2025, a total of 154 days for a total amount of $18,480 for failure to comply with the Commission's July 23rd, 2024 order. This concludes staff presentation at this time.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this item? All right, are there any questions from the commission at this time? Okay, with that, we'll close this matter to the floor. Any discussions or motion from the commission at this time?
Make a motion to adopt the staff's recommended order in full.
We have a motion from Commissioner Simon. Do I hear a second?
I second that motion.
And a second, Commissioner Smith. Motion passed unanimously.
Julia Cuellar, Code Enforcement Specialist, here to present Agenda Item 6, Continued Case 2024-11256-BSCP, 408 Rochelle Boulevard. This is a single-family dwelling that is substandard and unfit for human habitation. The property suffered a fire in October 2024. The owner is going through their insurance, which is covering the cost of repairs. A permit application was submitted on April 29, 2025, and issued July 16, 2025 for a rebuild and alteration, expires January 24, 2025. The owner was listed as the contractor. A total of 7 findings were adopted, and the owner was ordered to repair or demolish by July 27, 2025, without authorizing the City of Irving, its agents or contractors to enter the property, demolish the structure, and remove all debris. From March to April, there was progress at the property. The trash and debris was removed. Other than a temporary pole to allow power, from April to September 16, 2025, there was not any progress at the property. As of this morning, September 24, 2025, there is not progress at the property. Framing has not started. On September 16, the owner's daughter, Ms. Melendez, submitted a plan for construction, which can be found in your packet. Yesterday, September 23, 2025, they submitted this updated plan. They expect to complete the project in March 2026. Staff's order will request a 30-day demolition order to be placed on the property and request the owner to return to the commission in November to verify that work has commenced according to the plan. If the work is on schedule, staff will not pursue demolition and will allow the work to progress under this plan. With that in mind, staff respectfully request that the commission adopt these findings and make the following orders. Allow city staff to perform inspections of the property no later than October 24, 2025, to complete the repair or demolish of the structure. And if the structure and the property have not been completely repaired or demolished and the debris removed by October 24, 2025, the commission authorizes the city of Irving, its agents or contractors to enter the property, demolish the structure, and remove all debris from the property on or after October 24, 2025, and place civil penalties up to $1,000 per day for missed deadlines. This concludes my presentation at this time.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this item? Okay. I guess I'll ask city staff how we're arriving at the October date when there's an actual scope and schedule that pushes us out to May.
Yes, we arrived at the conclusion of 30 days because it is not a new case. We've already allowed 60 days for the original order. This will at least is our standard operating procedure to have 30 days, but we would allow them to come back in November and make a decision to move forward with demolition from there.
Yeah, so,
Go ahead, Shane.
Ms. Quayler, to make sure we're clear on it, you're asking for we are asking for the demolition order to be able to act because we have not seen progress at this point, with the exception of the temporary power pole since April, is it?
Yes,
Okay, and so we're not certain that progress will be made.
correct.
Okay.
Ms. Cuellar, have the structural engineering plans been submitted for permit?
Yes,
Yeah, Commissioner Metters, that's
Says
typically
they're completed.
part of the building permit package, and since the building permit has been issued, we're,
Well, I was looking at it. Maybe I was reading the wrong thing.
So this requested order, does this not fall under section 8-whatever in terms of timing, which states that orders can be between 30 and 90 days based on scope and schedule and beyond if repairs and all that. Does this not fall under that? This is not like a normal order?
So I would like to point out a couple things. Number one, the property owner is not here. And so they have a burden to
She's
come.
here.
the property owner.
Oh,
is
well,
here,
why haven't they
just
come down to
chosen not
speak?
they've chosen
Okay,
not to.
sorry, I apologize. I was under the impression since they were not speaking that they're not here. It's their burden of proof to submit that to the commission. And so I just, the commission is free to do, I think from staff's position, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, is this property owner has already been given a timeline that has not been met by this commission. And based on the lack of work that has done, regardless of a piece of paper that has been submitted, there has not been any progress made. And technically today, it has not complied with the prior order of this commission. And so typical steps would be, we would either move forward to ask that the city be able to demolish or to ask for civil penalties. And the option here that was chosen was to ask for the ability for the city to demolish, given the very obviously substandard, dilapidated nature of this property.
Did we not put in an order? We put in an order before, right?
No, and I want to remind you that the original order that we have on this case does not include the city's ability to demo. We had removed that under agreement that they would get work done on the property. We're asking that to be reintroduced into that so that we do have an option to take this forward, which is why we have only a 30-day on it, because typically that time would have already come and gone at this point. Our hope is that the building gets fixed in the
Yeah, right, I
timeframe
get
that they
that.
say it is, but we have to have some sort of means to be able to proceed forward to handle this type of structure.
I mean, I'm holding a scope and schedule that says the building couldn't be fixed before May 2026. Like, you can understand, the law says that the timing should be based on the scope and schedule, and how long it takes the building to be fixed. So how are we going to, like, ignore that for a new order?
The law gives this commission broad discretion to act. Staff's recommended order and request is a demolition order. You have a prior order that established deadlines, all of which have been missed. So at this particular point, the floor is open for a motion to do something with the case.
And just to clarify, the staff, the scope and schedule was only submitted within the past week, is that correct, Julia?
Correct.
Can you repeat that? I didn't quite catch that.
I was asking Ms. Quaylar when the scope and schedule was submitted, because I believe it was, city staff puts together a packet in advance of this meeting to get it together, and the scope and schedule came in within the past week, is my understanding, correct?
Yes, the original scope and schedule came September 16th. The most updated one came in yesterday.
Mr. Diller, would it be reasonable to amend the order to include some civil penalties to try to incite some movement on this, or continue with we see some movement in this thing, but it looks like it's been kind of slow walked a little bit.
Yes, those are the two options that staff considered, was amending for civil penalties because of the failure to comply with the original order and the lack of progress. In order to foster progress, we're thinking it would be, we figured it would be better not to penalize the property owner with civil penalties at this point, and instead firm up the order as we would normally receive them the first, which would give us the ability to demo if in fact we felt as though progress continued to stall. As this order would read, we would order them back to the November meeting, and at that point in the November meeting we would have the ability to recommend civil penalties, and then also advise the commission that we were going to go ahead and proceed with the demolition that had been ordered and the time that had lapsed from today's order request, and continue to proceed the case that direction.
Man.
Sure.
In addition to that, the other reason for the way that we shaped this order was that by receiving the scope and schedule the week before a hearing and accepting, or not accepting it, but presenting it this way in the order, is to allow them the opportunity to work on that scope and schedule. To come back here in November and show you what they've done with according to what they said they would do, and they'll give everybody, the commission and the city staff, both an opportunity to see that they are on schedule to what they're doing, as opposed to just a blanket, open-ended date for that to be completed. But it's kind of a give and take, for lack of a better word.
Can somebody from staff answer, in the event that the demolition order that was recommended by staff was approved, do I understand correctly, city staff has no intention of proceeding with the demolition between now and the commission's November meeting date? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Frankly, it's a practical matter of the fact that when the time frame passes, by the time we assign the job to the demolition contractor, review the necessary pieces of that due process there, we would be at the hearing date anyway, and would not proceed before the hearing date. Would advise you at that point as to what the progress was, and that staff's intention was to execute the demolition order that you had granted, so you would get an update in the November meeting before we proceeded.
Mr. Chair, I would also like to point out what I perceive to be significant deficiencies with the scope and schedule that is presented to you all, because it doesn't say anything, quite frankly, about the scope of work that is going to be done on the property. It just says there's going to be electrical done in 4 to 6 weeks, plumbing done in 4 to 6 weeks, mechanical in 2 weeks, masonry in 2 to 4 weeks. It doesn't indicate the actual work that is to be done on the property. Where is the mechanical work being done? What is being repaired? Where is the plumbing? What is the plumbing work that needs to be fixed? The scope and schedule should actually outline the work, not that we're going to hire contractors to do work in a certain time frame. And so I believe this is truthfully deficient and doesn't fully incorporate what the law envisions relative to the scope of work that the owner has to establish is to be done at the property to come into compliance.
Well, I very much agree with your, at least line of reasoning. For me, the timeline would have to be tethered to the scope and schedule and what it actually is, and that's a matter of fact to be settled between what is presented by the homeowner and city staff. So I think the question is, could this house possibly be fixed in 30 days? Because if not, then it's kind of a non-starter.
No,
Like-
yeah, the property could not be fully repaired and occupied within 30 days.
So you can see the conundrum here. Because ultimately that is, I mean, anytime we enter an order, I know there's a previous order, but I think the whole point of getting fresher orders is so that we're, as Ms. McNarty pointed out in her presentation, that we're getting a very accurate look at what the present state of this property is, as close as possible demolition. So with that, does city staff have an estimation that would be more accurate to the scope and schedule based on using the general guideline that there is to be framing, electrical, plumbing, home systems, mechanical, I'm not sure what that means, brick masonry, like how long that would all take, those five-ish
Well,
elements?
Based upon the rules of the commission, we can't provide them more than 90 days or less than 30 without an accurate, detailed scope and schedule from the owner. So therefore, you could put it at a 90-day demo order or a 60-day demo order or a 30-day demo order. That's about all we
Well,
can
that's-
recommend on the actual.
That's for
demo.
us to decide if this is detailed enough.
That is. So I think the question posed is, knowing what the condition of the building is in our, expertise in seeing these things reconstructed, what do we think a reasonable time is that if the property owner were diligently working and completing the project between today's date, which they've had lots of time before today, but we're talking about today's date, when would we expect that to be able to be completed?
I'll answer this in the same manner I answered the same question at another hearing. It depends on how many people are working on the building from one day to the next. I can't discuss what contractor they purchased or that they're paying for, or how he works, or what his timeframes would be. Typical house construction of this magnitude, 6 to 9 months is a pretty decent time for overall construction of a house of this nature. If they're going to keep what they currently have, tear off what they got and build from there, then yeah, I could see 6 to 9 months being an average time. Their scope and schedule overall works out that, but like I said, we can't know how many people they're going to put on it from one day to the next, what trade's going to overtrip one, what weather conditions are going to do. We don't know all that. So, but feasibly, that really depends on the owner and how much money they put behind it and what contractor they get and how available those contractors are.
Right, so clearly 30 days is unreasonable, and their estimation of May 2026, which is 9 months out, is within the realm of feasibility, not on the upper end of the estimation.
It is, yes. When the home burned, the property owner initiated construction to rebuild the property. We think it would have been done by now, most certainly. And so if you take that time frame of when it originally burned, coming up on a year ago, I believe, then, had there been any progress made along the way, we think that time frame would have. But what staff's uncomfortable proposing is allowing an additional 9-month window to allow the property not to make any further progress.
Well, I mean, obviously they couldn't start because there's insurance, and insurance will stop them from doing anything until they take their pictures and whatnot. So, yeah, that's the thing about the orders, though. I mean, they have to be given a fair shot at repairing the property. Like, 30 days, they got no shot at repairing the property. Like, not even.
No, staff's felt as though that at least since the permits were issued in July, that they've had a decent shot so far and haven't performed at all. So we're not trying to be insensitive to their situation.
I get that there's an existing thing, but from my understanding of how this works is every single time we pass an order like this, it's like a freeze frame in time, and that I don't see anywhere written it says that we get to look at what was done previously. That we take the current state of the house as it is right now and determine what's a reasonable amount of time it would take to repair it. And,
I have a
Sure, and that was your original order, granted them a reasonable amount of time to and they failed to act on that order?
And city would respectfully disagree with the assessment that every time you're hearing this case, it resets the clock. That is not the way that the law envisions. Otherwise, all the property owner ever has to do is not do anything during the time that's ordered by this commission to repair the work, show up the day of the hearing, say, here's my scope, and it's going to be done in 9 months, and this commission will give them an exorbitant amount of time to complete the work. When this property burnt in October of 2024, it came before this commission in May of this year, and they've had all that time to make repairs. And so here we are today, September 24th, with no visible work being done to this property in almost a year since it burnt. So I think it doesn't really speak truthfully to the situation to say that they haven't had adequate time to make the repairs.
You can assess fines. I mean, that was always I
Right,
think the remedy.
and that
from
is certainly the
city's
commission's prerogative, Mr. Chair. I'm just saying, from the staff's perspective, there has been more than ample time given to this property owner under the law to make the repairs. That has not been done. In order for the city to ensure that progress happens, we are looking to have the ability to demolish this property if further progress is not made.
Is it possible to request a better scope, or the schedule you alluded to not being really sufficient, correct?
I'll defer to your attorney on that, but certainly
would
I've
that be
expressed
part
my
of our-
concerns with the scope.
We could amend the staff's recommendation to request that? If we're to,
That request was in fact included as part of the original order,
okay.
and yes, it can be asked for again.
So here's my question is, can we pass an order for a time frame knowing that it's called out in the statute that the time frame is based on the scope and schedule of the thing, and say, we know the house cannot be repaired in this time, but we're going to pass it anyway, especially when given a timeline saying that, I mean, it'd be one thing if there was absolutely no input from the owner saying, like, it was just like, we don't know who's who, right? But if the owner is actively looking at it and planning the feasibility of it, in the presence of an actual, like, plan, lacking details, as you pointed out, I would question from our lawyer the legality of us passing 30 days when, the lower estimation is something like 6 months.
I would like to add, Commissioner Dodd, that usually the first findings you adopt and the first orders you do already includes that verbiage, so we're just asking to include that verbiage.
Julia, I believe Commissioner Dodd's question was for his attorney, so we should wait and let him answer that first.
Apologies.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the Commission's original order established a deadline of July 27th, 2025, which was a reasonable time for which all of the repairs or demolition of the property could have taken place. And so right now, you're just looking at what do you wish to do relative to the fact that the property owner has made zero progress on your initial order. As to your question about the statute, that statute does not provide them a guarantee of an extension of additional time upon the presentation of a new scope and schedule that was not provided timely. Simply providing a scope and schedule this many months into the progress or lack thereof on this particular property does not guarantee them the right to an extension. It's certainly within your prerogative to grant them one, but there's no statutory right to one.
Okay, I think we've said that all we need to say on that one. I don't believe we ever closed this. Did we ever close the floor?
No.
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did. Okay, yeah, you can speak.
Hi, good afternoon. I would just like to address the commission public hearing.
1 second. Are you here to for the swearing in?
Sure, I'll swear.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to present is true and correct?
Yes.
Okay. If you could state your name and address for the record.
Aurora Antones.
Huh? Okay.
My name is Aurora Antones and my mom's here. She's the owner of the house. When the fire happened, it was just a traumatic experience for the whole family. Luckily, everybody made it alive except our dog, Casper. We've been dealing with insurance from the moment it happened. So yes, the fire happened in October, but when it happened, we hired our architect in March, His plans took 6 weeks. Then we had to find a structural engineer. That took 6 weeks to find. We had to do the demo process, which is find a contractor, hire to demo. Demo means like take all the sheetrock, all the furniture, everything moved out, clean the property, get dump trucks there, have them loaded, taken away, get the permit, get the T-pole installed. I mean, we're moving forward to start building the house. It might look from the outside like we haven't done anything, but everything's been doing in the back end. I mean, we hired professionals, we hired people that know what they're doing. We're in good hands. I mean, this is our family home, so she's still gonna move back in there. It's not like we're gonna abandon the property. But I mean, I could see why it looks like we haven't done anything because nothing's been done. But believe me, getting all your furniture, all your belongings, demoing, the sheetrock, removing all the burnt stuff, like that takes a lot of time. And the scope of the work, the only reason that I turned it in, honestly, I just did it because I knew that it was a court hearing now. But if you look at the dates, we started March, April, May, July. I mean, we keep moving forward. And I just want everybody to know that we have, even though it looks like it hasn't, because everything's been done in the back end. And I would like to request for that word about the house being demoed in October. I mean, that just seems a little beyond. I mean, if we need to pay a price, then we'll pay a penalty, a civil penalty, because something should happen, right? But for it to be put there that the house is going to be demoed in October, we've already moved forward. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. But if we need to pay a civil penalty, then we'll pay a civil penalty.
Okay. Any questions from anyone up here while we have her up here? Go ahead, Ms.
I'll
Bernard.
defer to the commission, but I certainly have questions of this witness.
Go ahead.
Miss, is it Melendez?
Antonis.
Oh, Antonis, I'm sorry, I was looking at the scope and schedule. So in the scope and schedule that was submitted, it says that framing is scheduled to start at the end of September, correct?
Correct.
So today is September 24th. There's less than a week of the month left. So when do you expect the framing to actually begin?
End of September.
So tomorrow, Friday, next Monday, Tuesday? What timeline has the contractor given you on when the framing is going to begin? When are they actually coming out to start the work?
I mean, it's scheduled at the end of September. That's what he said, like, I guess next week. But first, we're waiting for the material to get there. So it's the matter of the material getting there, and then once the material arrives, then framing will start.
And who is acting? Do you have a contractor that's acting as a general contractor on this project? Or are you hiring out all different subs?
We're gonna sub.
Okay. So you don't have a general contractor?
We have a general contractor.
Is that the
My mom is the contractor, and everything's going to be subcontracted.
Okay. And so you expect framing and the materials to be on site in the next week?
We're hoping, yes.
But you have no guarantee?
No, because when it comes to construction, things happen. If it's not next week, then it's going to be the early weeks of October. But that we're moving forward, we're moving forward.
And all the contractors that are referenced on the scope and schedule, there are several. Have they actually given you more detailed quotes
yes,
up
they
to the
have.
work to be
and,
done?
Yeah, and that's why it's taken so long, because you're getting quotes from everybody, because you want to make sure you have enough funds to do the project.
Okay.
We had window people go out there and give us quotes for the windows, electrical, the plumbing.
So do you have those quotes to provide to the commission today?
Yeah, no, I don't have them today right now, but I mean, I have the quotes.
And in terms of the cost of the repairs, what is the total cost that you have been given by all of these various contractors to complete all of the repairs to the property?
The total cost for the whole project?
Yes.
Around 500.
Okay, and you have received the insurance proceeds to cover that $500,000 cost?
Yes.
Do you have
no further questions.
bank statements reflecting that the funds have been paid out by insurance company?
Yeah, I mean, the insurance already gave the money and it's already been transferred to my mom's account.
Okay. I mean, do you have like a bank statement like with you?
No, because I never thought I was going to speak. This is, I came in a t-shirt and
Yeah, no,
this wasn't planned, but I just wanted to have the opportunity to just kind of state.
Well, we
'cause-
appreciate you speaking, and there is no dress code.
Yeah.
So,
I'd like to ask a question.
go ahead, Mr. Welch.
I'm just curious, I've noticed in the pictures that there's not been any effort to weatherproof the structure. You add to a lot of the cost with the monsoon season on us and all the rains we've had. How come nobody's put a tarp over it?
We thought about that, but it just wasn't done.
Oh, I'm just curious.
Do we have any other questions for the witness while she's standing up here? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, are you closing the public hearing?
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to this item? Okay, with that, we'll close this matter to the floor.
And at this time, the floor is open to a motion.
Thank you for the reminder of that. I think our issue we're running into is that things take longer than we might anticipate them taking, especially when it's a giant project, when you involve removal of waste, you involve insurance, and you involve the fact that this is probably this homeowner's first rodeo at this. And it's quite a big undertaking to be an amateur and do it. So we don't have, the cost is over $100,000, and we don't have verification of funds, even though that verification probably exists. So 90 days would be the max if we were doing that. I would ask for the thoughts of the commission on this. Because if this were a clean order, like that's the first time we did it, it'd be a no-brainer, it'd be 90 days. But the fact that we've previously put orders in before, I would lean towards the fact that we do reserve the right to assess civil penalties going all the way back to our order in April, or was it April? Yeah. So that clock, it has been ticking and still ticks, and we still have the right to assess civil penalties based on what we see in the future.
Yeah, the order wasn't made. And Mr. Chair, as the commission is considering what it is going to do on this case, I would just, on behalf of staff, like to say that in the event you are going to give the property owner more than 90 days to repair the structure, given the cost of the work under 214-001, the city would request that a letter of guarantee of proof of that financial, from a financial institution be provided within 30 days.
I think for that reason, we were considering capping it at 90 days in lieu of that information. And as you point out, the scope and schedule is a bit lacking in detail, although it's reasonable. Any thoughts? Okay. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and make the motion. I move to amend the staff's recommended order to make it a 90-day repair, no later than, it'd be sometime in December. December 23rd, 2025, is that 90 days? Okay, so no later than December 23rd, 2025, that the structure be repaired or demolished. Same thing for section 2, section 3.
So, Mr. Chairman, your motion is to approve staff's recommended order, but revised revising the dates referenced in sections 1 and 2 on the action from October 24th to December 23rd.
Correct. Well, we wouldn't need the letter of credit unless we were going to extend it again. So we already have 90 days. I mean, yes, if there were, we will note that if there was ever a time to further extend it at the end of 90 days to a window past 90 days, we would need a statement of credit showing that the funds are there to complete the project, assuming more than $100,000 worth of work remained. But hopefully it does not come to that. What was that?
Mr. Chair, just to clarify, as we work to revise the order, staff will have to prepare it. I know in Section 1, we're changing that date to December 23rd. In Section 2, that corresponding date will also be moved from the first one to December 23rd. The second one would read December 25th. And then we would, I'm sorry, 24.
The second date would be 24.
And then the order to appear, I believe, given the history of this case and the concerns regarding lack of progress, I believe, we would still like to request that they come back in November.
Yes, we
to
will
at least give
include
a
that
progress
the
update.
order to appear for November 19th.
Thank you.
And also request, yes, that a better, a more detailed schedule of the outstanding work to be done as of that time. Okay.
So you got all that cobbled together?
Yes, that counts as a motion. We have a cobbled together motion. Do I hear a second?
I second that motion.
We have a second from Commissioner Smith. Okay, motion passed unanimously. That was, okay, we're on item 7.
Julia Cuellar, Code Enforcement Specialist, here to present Agenda Item 7, Continued Case BSCP 2302-0004, 910 Oakland Drive. This is a single-family dwelling that is substandard and unfit for human habitation. A fire occurred February 2023 in the bedroom located on the south end of the structure. On April 23, 2025, the property was ordered to be repaired or demolished due to the 6 findings of a substandard structure. The owner's daughter, Ms. Harris, made repairs to the property and showed the following progress. She repaired the backside of the structure, cleaned up trash and outside storage, repaired broken window with the screen and broken siding at the bottom of the box bay window, painted the property and replaced the roof with a permit. At the last hearing, July 23, 2025, Ms. Harris had begun interior repairs and found termites and damaged studs that need to be replaced. Since then, I reached out to Ms. Harris on multiple occasions to try and schedule an interior inspection to confirm that some of the findings had been remedied. The last entry into the interior of this property occurred on March 11, 2025. An interior inspection has not been performed since. Staff respectfully reminds the Commission of the adopted findings and make the following orders. Staff respectfully requests that the owner be ordered to pay civil penalties in the amount of $5 per each of the 6 violations per day from June 23, 2025 through September 24, 2025, a total of 94 days for a total amount of $2,820 for failure to comply with the Commission's April 23, 2025 order. This concludes staff's presentation at this time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak to this item?
Okay.
Would you say your name for the name and address for the record?
Yeah, it's Gwen Gunya, actually. Yeah, I have been removing the sheetrock out of the home. When I can, I have been busy at work and have not
I'm
had
sorry, I
time.
have to stop you.
Okay.
My lawyer said you weren't sworn in.
Oh,
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is true and correct?
Yes.
Okay, now you may begin.
Okay. Like I said, I have been going in and when I can to finish tearing out the sheetrock inside the home. Have been really busy at work, so I really haven't had that much time to go to the property, so there has not been that much progress. I have, although, gone in and transferred the title into my name rather than my father's. So now I can acquire a loan to get the property where it needs to be. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, so you're saying that what was holding you up was you couldn't get the money because you didn't own the property?
Right.
Okay. What work has been completed and what work still remains to be completed?
The sheetrock still needs to be replaced. It has been taken out, but it has not been replaced. Getting the electrical permit and getting that done. There's no plumbing issues as far as from the fire, so that doesn't need to be done. That's really basically all of it.
Is there any issue with the, when you say sheetrock, is that on the ceiling or on the?
Where the fire department had put the fire out,
Okay.
so there was damage to the ceiling. And because of that, I guess water had gotten in, and of course there was the mold on the sheetrock. That's why we're replacing it.
Okay, so I'm just going through what still remains. A foundation that has holes, cracks, buckling, or crumbling. Is there anything wrong with the foundation? Or has that been remedied?
Not to my knowledge.
So in your opinion, the foundation is sufficient?
It seems fine, but
Okay.
I'm not, that's not my profession, so.
I guess same question, but for the floor, is there anything with the floor that would make it not able to support the weight of emergency personnel or equipment?
No.
Is there anything parts that may fall and injure a person, like from where the ceiling is?
The sheetrock, no, it has been removed, so, no. As far as any structure, no.
Yeah, no, I think, so it's all covered under damage by fire, wind, vandalism, so there's still damage from fire. So that would all get classified under that section. And there's still an interior wall or ceiling that has holes, cracks, loose plaster. That's still. And then a floor that's insufficient strength. Floor. Does the roof have holes in it?
No, the roof has been replaced. It's a whole new roof and deck and everything.
Okay, so it sounds like from your testimony, there are only 2 violations still outstanding: an interior wall or ceiling that has holes, cracks, loose plaster, defective materials, or structure deterioration that may defeat the purpose of the wall or ceiling, or that may fall on to protect the occupants, and then damage by fire, explosion, wind, vandalism, or elements of nature. So I say that because
As far as any fire damage, that's all been corrected. There is, all that has been taken care of. What I'm doing right now is the interior.
I guess that would actually be a question to how it's written. Would the hole in the ceiling not constitute damage by fire?
No,
Or
it's
if
from the
all
fire department.
evidence not
It shot
of the
through the
fire?
roof.
If it was burned, it's damaged by fire.
But if the burned parts were removed, even if the hole was still there?
A hole is damaged by fire.
Okay, so I guess the origin of it, counts? We're doing this?
Is it damage caused by fire?
Okay, all right. So the point of all that is per your testimony, 4 of the 6 violations have been remedied. I say that because the city is recommending penalties per violation per day. And if there's only 2, that would cut their requested fine by 2/3. That'd be why I asked this line of questioning.
Gotcha.
Do you have an estimation for when you think the rest of this will be finished?
I'm hoping, I don't know how long it will take to get a loan on the property to get it fixed. I'm hoping within 2 months.
2 months? How much do you need from the loan, do you think, to finance the repairs?
I'm going to have my contractor come in and assess. I'm not sure. Like I said, it's not my department, so I don't know. I do plan on, when I inquire the loan, I want to add on to the property as well. So it's going to be included in that. So.
All right. Is there any questions for this witness while she's up here from anybody on the panel?
So it seems like we need to separate the future addition to repairs to bring the property into compliance is, any kind of consideration. So according to what she has just reported to us about future plans.
Yeah. So I guess from our perspective, the clock has been ticking, continues to tick.
Right.
So we don't really, it's not really our prerogative if, you make the house look nicer than it was before. It's just, fix the hole in the sheetrock.
Well, I can do that today then,
So
if that's what it is.
that would be our concern. And the faster, if you could do that first.
Oh, yeah,
And get that
absolutely.
done.
Oh, yeah.
And then once you're clear of our review, go nuts, do whatever you want to that property.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's the zoning people's problem.
Okay.
Any other questions from the panel up here? Okay. Actually, do you have any pictures of where the property is currently at, of the repairs that have been done, interior pictures?
Just what was represented the last time, for the last meeting.
Sure, you don't have pictures on your phone or something that of the sheetrock or something?
Ms. IT is going to come down and help you set up a screen. You'd be able to show those on an overhead projector.
You're good.
9:10.
I got it. Oakland.
Come on. This is what it looked like before, or this is what the pictures that were sent the last time.
Can you,
Miss, can you swing the mic a little more, the microphone, swing it your direction so you can
Gotcha.
show those. There you go. Narrate. Thank you.
Hang on just a second. As far as the sheetrock needs, like I said, needs to be replaced. Let me get to the parts here. That is not actually fire damage. It's actually from the fire department, which would be this here, where, I don't know if you can, oh, nope, there we go. Where the water had come in, they'd shot through the roof on both sides, one side and into the other. That's not from fire, that's from the pressure of the hose. So all it is, basically, is cutting that out and putting the sheetrock in. I know that sounds like I should have already done that, which you're right, but like I said, I have been extremely busy at work.
okay, so this is a current picture?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know, does that count as things that could fall? I mean, there's a little bit of plaster.
insulation.
Any other pictures? Maybe
I
one
really
of the,
don't. I mean, let's see.
maybe one that shows a floor or foundation?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got, that's the floor there. This is the floor. You can, well, okay. Hang on. I don't know. I don't know what.
I think we get the general outline. What other pictures? Do you have like exterior shots of maybe the roof or
Yeah.
like side shots into the foundation?
Yeah. Roof. Well, you can see the roof,
Okay.
and as far as side pictures, there's a side picture. Yes, is that what you're looking for? I mean,
Yeah.
let's see what else I have.
Okay, so I mean, the line of inquiry is to establish at the moment exactly which violations still remain. Does city staff have a position on which outstanding violations? I get that you may not have been able to go through and inspect them yourself.
That's correct. Yeah, as far as the violations listed, and short of us actually getting eyes on, we don't typically take them off the order until we've had eyes on.
Yeah.
And completed an inspection and verified that those have been done. Because the main structure is only part of the property. We still have accessory structures on the property that
Yeah.
have to be assessed along with this. And so our estimation is that these violations still exist until we can get on site and prove otherwise.
Okay. All right. I think we have everything we need from you right now.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak to this item? Okay, with that, we'll close this matter to the floor. So here's where I think we're at. I think per testimony, there's most likely 3 of the violations which don't currently exist, or which there is evidence that they do not currently exist, probably a 4th one. I don't know where the parts that may fall or injure a person. The sheetrock seemed kind of iffy, like a little bit of sheetrock might fall. Not really sure how to read that. But I do think that F would be taken off, damage by fire, explosion, or vandalism. I don't think fireman's hose would count as damage by fire, right? Would damage by fireman's hose be classified under damage by fire when?
It is.
It is?
Everything that happens as a result of the fire
Okay.
is caused by, related to, or arising out of the fire,
Okay, so F would still be in there.
including the efforts to put the fire out.
So the way I see it, E and F are still outstanding, and A is debatably included.
So it's up to the commission to make the legislative determination as the validity of the proposed findings. You are certainly raising points of inquiry as to them. As far as what's legally supportable, I don't think there's any question that AE, AD, and E are legally supportable.
A floor exterior wall that
Sorry,
has.
A, E, and F.
There we go. Okay. All right, so the question I would ask is, do we think they're parts that may fall or injure a person? You saw that picture of, there's a little bit of plaster. I mean, there's the insulation hanging down, which that's not a problem, because it's very soft. But there is a little bit of plaster. Would we say that constitutes parts that may fall and injure a person or property? Think yes? Okay. Okay, so I say that the staff's recommended order is that civil penalties be assessed $5 per day for each of the remaining violations, and they list the 6. I'm seeing that 3 of them are likely remedied. I would also remind that the other 3 violations, if they are still found to exist at later inspection, could still be brought up for civil penalties, even going back to the April, the April date. No, sorry, it's June 22nd date. Because that'd be when the, June 23rd?
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying going backwards.
Yes, that would still be on the table. Right now, it's likely those have been
Understood.
remedied, so I don't think we should assess the penalties right now. But if later we find out we were mistaken and all 6 still exist, then retroactively we can go back and get the 3 going back to June and then, you know what I'm saying?
Mr.
Why
Chair.
don't we have part of the order remaining here is allow the staff to enter the property to give us a proper assessment?
That was
That's
going
already
to be
in
my
there.
ask. Thank you, Commissioner Metter.
Oh, is that not already included?
It's not in the draft order before you, so we would ask, to the point of some of the additional violations, if we haven't been able to access the property since March, and by the we, I mean city code enforcement staff, then in order to make sure that we are able to present photographs to the commission when this case comes back, we would like to have the ability to enter the property, to inspect the property, and document the remaining violations on the property.
Okay, so city staff is requesting permission to enter the property to assess, is that how we're phrasing it?
I believe they're asking you to order the property owner to make the property available for its inspection on a continuous and ongoing basis between now and your next meeting.
Okay.
So we're amending the.
Yeah, we're amending it kind of heavily. Okay, so with that, I will make a motion to adopt the staff's recommended motion with the following revisions. The civil penalties being the amount of $5 per day for the 3 violations, that is A, E, and F, under paragraph 5, for a total of $1,410. And that's city staff be provided ongoing access to the property to assess the compliance and the correction of these penalties. And was there an order to appear for November?
There's actually an order, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. There's actually an order to appear in the order draft for January. But I believe we would be satisfied to bring that in November, given the update, or given where we stand with the violations and needing to access the
Yes,
property.
and we will also amend the order to appear to be November 19th. Mr. Boyle, do you want to clarify what I said and make it
It's a
clearer?
motion to adopt staff's recommended order with the initial findings being reduced to A, E, and F only, reducing the number of violations in the fine level from 6 to 3, and as such reducing the fine amount to $1,410, including an additional provision ordering the owner to make the property available for inspection by city staff on a continuous and ongoing basis between now and your next meeting, and ordering the property owner to appear at the Commission's November 19th, 2025 meeting.
Exactly. That is the motion. Do I hear a second?
I second that
We
motion.
have a motion from Commissioner Smith. A second, I mean. Motion passed unanimously. Okay. Which one was that? 910? Okay, so you want 1129 Misty Lane?
Blake Peoples, Bid and Programs Coordinator, here to present Agenda Item 8, Continued Case BSCP 2402-0002, 1129 Missy Lane. This is a single townhome that is substandard and unfit for human habitation. The roof of the structure has missing shingles and weather damage. This is a floor or roof that has insufficient strength to be reasonably safe for the purpose for which the floor or roof is used and or to support the weight of emergency personnel and equipment as determined by the fire chief, and parts that may fall and injure a person. This back area of the structure has a large hole that allows access to animals and is a non-support member enclosed an outside wall or covering with 50% damage or deterioration, and a floor, exterior wall, or roof that has holes, cracks, or loose, rotting, warped, or protruding boards that may injure a person. In April of 2024, the city had the property secured to avoid unauthorized entry. On multiple occasions, city staff has had to remove items that have been illegally dumped on the property, include most recently the mattress seen in the photo to the right. Since that time, the structure has remained secured, but no work has been done on the interior as seen from the kitchen window. And from the back sliding door, sheetrock has fallen off the ceiling, which represents an interior wall or ceiling that has holes, cracks, loose plaster, defective materials, or structural deterioration that may defeat the purpose of the wall or ceiling, or they may fail to protect the occupants of the structure from danger of collapse or of fire. When the case was first opened, it was noted that the copper plumbing pipes had been removed by vandals when the structure was unsecured. This is damaged by fire, explosion, wind, vandalism, or other elements of nature, so there may be a danger to life, safety, or the general health and welfare of a person. With that in mind, staff respectfully requests that the commission adopt these findings and make the following orders. Staff respectfully requests that the owner be ordered to pay civil penalties in the amount of $10 per each of the remaining 6 violations for 63 days for all violations on the property, beginning on July 23rd, 2025 through September 24th, 2025, for a total amount of $3,780 for failure to completely repair the structures on the property in compliance with the Commission's April 23rd, 2025 order. Also, allow city staff to make inspections no later than October 24th, 2025 to complete the repairs of the structure. And if the structures on the property have not been completely repaired by October 24th, 2025, the commission authorizes the city of Irving, its agents or contractors to enter the structure on the property to repair the structure to the extent necessary to bring the structure into compliance with the minimum standards of Chapter 8 of the City of Irving Code, Civil and Criminal Ordinance, and to secure the structures on the property from unauthorized entry once the repairs are completed on or after October 25th, 2025. This concludes my presentation at this time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak to this item? Did you say, ma'am, did you want to speak to this item? I couldn't say if you raised your hand. Oh, okay. All right, sorry. Okay. Do we have any questions for Mr. Peebles? All right, with that, we're going to close this matter to the floor. Comments, questions from the commission or city staff? Do I hear any motions?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adopt the staff recommendation in full.
We have a motion from Commissioner Metters. Do I hear a second?
A second.
And a second from Commissioner Simon. Motion passed unanimously. Last item, please.
Blake Peoples, Bid and Programs Coordinator, here to present Agenda Item 9, new case BSCP 2407-0001, 1609 Dale Place. This is a single-family residence that is substandard and unfit for human habitation. The garage door has rotted wood. The front windows that are broken have been replaced with wood. This is a non-supporting member, enclosing outside wall or covering with 50% damage or deterioration. Damages to the roof can be seen from the public right-of-way. A plastic tarp is being used to cover a hole in the roof. This indicates a floor or roof that has insufficient strength to be reasonably safe for the purpose for which it is used and to support the weight of emergency personnel and equipment as determined by the fire chief. On the south side of the house, you can see severe deterioration and rot. This is a floor, exterior wall, or roof that has holes, cracks, or loose, rotten, warped, or protruding boards that may injure a person. Damage by fire, explosion, wind, vandalism, or elements of nature, so that there may be a danger to life, safety, or to the general health and welfare of a person. Also, parts that may fall and injure a person. This photo taken in the kitchen of the house represents an interior wall or ceiling that has holes, cracks, loose plaster, defective materials, or structural deterioration that may defeat the purpose of the wall or the ceiling, or they may fail to protect the occupants of the structure from danger of collapse or fire. Several areas of the interior of the house have drywall either missing or that have fallen. There exist conditions caused by accumulation of refuse, vegetation, or other matter that create breeding and living places for insects and rodents. The accessory structure in the rear of the property is substandard. There is also an accumulation of trash and debris in the backyard.
Ms. McNarty, did you want to, there we go.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, thank you, Commissioner. Inspector Peoples, did the city conduct a due diligence search to locate all owners, mortgagees, and lien holders for this property, giving them at least 10 days advanced notice of this hearing?
Yes.
Was the search conducted in the real property records of Dallas County, Dallas Central Appraisal District records, records for the Secretary of State for the state of Texas, assumed name records of Dallas County, tax utility, and other records of the city?
Correct.
Was notice of this public hearing sent by certified mail, return receipt requested to all owners, mortgagees, and lien holders, giving them at least 10 days in advance notice of this hearing?
Yes.
Was notice of this public hearing posted on the structure as soon as within 10 days of this hearing?
Yes.
Was notice of this hearing published in a newspaper of general circulation in the city at least 10 days in advance of this hearing?
Yes.
Are documents included in the Commissioner's packet of materials which evidence the persons identified through the city's due diligence search for this property and the notification that was provided?
Correct.
Is this property dilapidated?
Yes.
Is it substandard?
Yes.
Is it unfit for human habitation?
Yes.
Is this property a hazard to the public health, safety, and welfare?
Yes.
In your opinion, does this property constitute an urban nuisance?
Yes.
Could this property be repaired without substantial reconstruction?
No.
What is staff's recommendation on this property?
With that in mind, staff respectfully requests that the commission adopt these findings and make the following orders. Allow city staff to make inspections no later than November 23rd, 2025 to complete the repairs or demolition of the structure. And if the structures on the property have not been completely repaired or demolished and the debris is removed by November 23rd, 2025, the commission authorizes the city of Irving, its agents, or contractors to enter the property, demolish the structure, and remove all debris from the property on or after November 24th, 2025, and place civil penalties up to $1,000 per day for missed deadlines. This concludes my presentation at this time.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this item? Might you bring them up? If you would state your name and address for the record.
John Philip Reeves, 128 County Road 1100.
Thank you.
Can you hear me
were
okay?
sworn in, right? Okay. Go ahead, you can go continue.
Can y'all hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear
you. Mr. Peoples and Mr. Demarest have been extremely respectful. I've been going through chemo for the last 3 years. I had tenants that transferred over someone else, and then they allegedly had a fire inside. It appeared that they were burning some stuff in the backyard, but there was the fire department cut that hole. The sheetrock, what didn't fall down, I've been trying to remove it, but my my brother died 15 days ago. He was going to be helping me, kept putting delays. Right now, my urgency is to try to sell the property as quickly as possible before the November deadline. I have a lot of people. You guys have done due diligence notifying everybody, so I get tens or dozens of calls a day trying to purchase it. But with my, I'm doing chemo every week at JPS Oncology. I'm HIV positive. I have some other health issues, but right now my outlook is really positive to get either brokers, realtors, buyers as quickly as possible. I don't have much to add. I do have a farm where I have trucks and trailers, was diligently moving stuff out. Last year after the fire, people were bringing stuff in, so I have, limited access where it happened over and over again, where there were vandals and stuff. I got stabbed multiple times Father's Day of last year. Subsequently had a lot of infections. My fingers, I was transposed from Baylor White, JPS, Decatur Hospital. I got pneumonia, COVID, and then another RSV, and I just basically shut down. And then my brother moved in January, series of heart attacks and other issues, and then he came out of a facility on the 6th, and I said, we got to go to Irving, we're going to do it. I'm going to help you. I go in there, he's laying on the floor. I try to get him up, he refuses. He said he wanted something to drink. I came back about 30 minutes later, and he apparently died. So I had wanted to meet, to make a lot more arrangements. I'm so sorry. You guys have been so respectful, and I bought these properties 20 years ago in 2000. This property was very dear to me. The garbage inside, was where, when we were working, I was bringing in sodas and things like that. Then vandals would come in, it would be all tore up. I do apologize, to the city of Irving and the council for the condition it's in. The outside is secure. I go and meet him to mow, and I've let him know all these, they're not excuses. They're, I'd be there right now. The new therapy, 2 months ago when I met him, I had my face and hands had swollen up from the Promacta. I'd gotten approved through a patient thing very rapidly, and unfortunately my primary oncologist wasn't seeing me, that I was having that. When I met him, I apologized. I said I had to take my shirt off. My skin was on fire, then all these other infections. All of that I was at the emergency room earlier today. I have a bag of stuff. My outlook is good. I want to work with the different individuals. Before Dale Dommer said, it was a situation where I'd gotten attacked. Each time I'd go there, people would try to encroach upon the property. The garage door, I do have a lot of people wanting to buy it. It's been a lot of vultures too, where they're wasting a lot of time. They're calling me nonstop, even while I'm in chemo. When I try to make arrangements, I will agree to meet him at any time. I do have trucks and trailers where I can remove the stuff. I do better on my own anyway. My brother was, he was in the hospital about 28 times in the last 6 months. And, that's been a big part of my negligence is other issues. I don't want to take any more of y'all's time. If you can give me till that November 20, the next city council meeting, I think we're going to see a lot of progress, or that I'll sell the property to somebody who is literally, legitimately capable, not one of my dirtbag neighbors or somebody that's been harassing me, but I want to have, I do own other properties, so I don't want to see the neighborhood decline with somebody that might. And I think at this point a demolition would be, the fire department did cut a small hole, and they put the tarp over it. The interior, somebody had stole the hot water heater. When the water turned back on, it flooded the ceiling, and that, when I started seeing that the plaster was coming in there, tore it all out. And it looks terrible, and I understand. I'm being extremely diligent as far as keeping the property secure to where nobody can get in there. They had done criminal trespassing on about 28 people, and people were contacting me. The Irving Police Department let me know that these were bad people, And subsequently, I would say, you need to get out of here. I got stabbed. And I got called a lot of names, and then I had to go to court here in Irving earlier this year because I became emotional, told people to get away from me. My hands were all sliced up, so I was doing this. They said I was flashing gang signs. I'm a white guy from the country. I speak Spanish fluently. I love all my neighbors. I know them all. We're all friends on Facebook. They showed me the pictures of the fire. They confront, they let me know when they see anybody with the city there. But that's not trying to exasperate this. I want to, do what's right and get this, hopefully all of this cleaned up and sold, in the next month or two. If not, definitely have a contract by November 22nd. I got my phone's blowing up right now where people are aware of this, and some of them are legitimate, some of them are, I don't want to mock them, but they tell me, oh, I'm a buyer in the neighborhood, and I'm like, I'm not meeting you there. It just doesn't sound like that I would not want to put anybody else in that situation. That's all I have to say. If there's any questions, I hope, he's been so respectful. I've had issues in the past where they come at me seeing all that garbage, and the tenants people were trying to move in. I was walking in, it would be young women with dogs, and there's kids stuff, and I'm calling the police as fast as possible. City of Irving was becoming concerned about me and my own mental or physical, and I'm 59 years old. I can't fight with these people, and I let him know that he has been absolutely respectful. I've met him when he's asked to, and my initial thought was that I would get these repairs done, or at least cleaned up to where it's presentable. I'm stammering. Do y'all have any questions for me, or?
Well, thank you for giving your testimony. I'm sorry to hear about your brother.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I also lost my brother fairly recently, so I know what you're going through.
It was really unexpected. He had some hard problems. He was diabetic. He wouldn't take care of himself. I was adopted. I'm white, blonde hair, blue eyes. I speak Spanish. He doesn't, but he's of Spanish descent. He wants to fight with everybody. I was telling Mr. Peoples that my initial roommates in that house were a friend of 30 years, and he passed away. Two black men that were living in the house. One, they found him on the porch roughly about 2 years ago, and those tenants took advantage, started vandalizing the property because I was in the throes of having chemo. My truck had gotten repossessed. Dontra wasn't supposed to be living in the house, and it was very disturbing. And it's been locked up, and then, like I said, the vandalism, and they brought all that crap into the backyard, and and when I was trying to clean it out, it's a mess. It really is. I'm pretty, solid about trying to keep the pest away and keep the yard and stuff, but I do appreciate your condolences, and I'm sorry that I'm a little bit.
No, that's okay. So, is there any hope of repairing this property? Because it seems like it's got.
That was my hope, because I own a farm and I have other property. I have vehicles and everything else, but the problem is I had home invasion one right after another, where people go, I heard you died, because they hear that I'm HIV positive. The officers that came to remove my brother, I had to do CPR on him, and I have pigs, and it's a large property. It's a large enough property that I can remove whatever and sell whatever's left, but definitely the property is repairable. It's not, even though those pictures look terrible, it's from water damage from the pipes that were stolen and the vandals, plus what the fire department did. There's a very, very small area where they tried to, they got the gas shut off. These people were putting kerosene and propane tanks and everything. So I was basically, Del Demarest, the previous guy, went into law enforcement, and I explained to them, I can't keep these people out here, and I can't fight. I don't carry weapons. And then when I wasn't trying to forlorn to getting stabbed last summer. But I have a parcel that I had a contract where they were going to buy it for $72,000. When they came into the survey, I have a lot of illegals in the neighborhood. We had a lot of people die of COVID. This is horrible. When my brother died, because he's Hispanic, immigration came in and they removed a lot of the neighbors. Wise County is saying that that's an order from the government. I get along with Spanish people, I speak Spanish, but it put it in a bad perspective where they thought either I'm the white villain, and then I said, no, it was my brother, and they did not understand that he was dead. And the only picture that I had was him in a body bag on the side of the road, because the sheriff said it was a long ordeal. As far as the property, structurally, that place is wonderful. It was built in 1954. Irene Taylor and her husband Clifford lived there with their father. It was all perfectly original, everything about it, except the exterior. They put this white stone on the outside. The tenants busted out windows, and then they put not the cardboard, and then on the side it looks like they're busted out, but they spray painted them. And I think ideally, the garage door is, they tried to make some sort of an apartment in there. Inside there was all kinds of locks, so all of that's got to be torn out. And I was very reluctant. He's a big man. He seems strong, but I said, just please be careful. I didn't want anything to fall down, didn't want anything to crawl out on him, and I wasn't trying to baby him, but the same way with Demarest or Dale and the other officer that came out. I said, look, I have a lot of problems with these people. They had broken in, they'd climbing over the fence. They're sitting there, and he walked about as far as that stairway, and he goes, I'm done, with the other issue. I stayed over there. I stayed throughout the summer. My vehicle got impounded after I got stabbed. I got accused of fighting in public because all I was doing was get away from me. I'm on the phone for 23 minutes with 911, and I was just off of Irving Boulevard in a state sale. So when I came home, back to 1609, it was my intention to be there every day to clean it up, and it was bad. People would just walk in, and I would ask them to leave, and then it would be an issue where the police would be out, and then they would go, that guy's crazy. So I'm going to sell the property. That is, and it is very easily, it's mostly cosmetic on the inside. It is a lot of garbage. I have several trailers, stock trailers, flatbed trailers that I was hauling stuff away and taking pictures for the previous code of compliance people. But at this point, the newest buyer, she's saying that they will pay for all of that as far as moving, whatever's of value or obviously the cleanup. So that was where I'm looking at. And that deadline, that's what I asked him when I called him this morning. But I had appointments at the AIDS clinic, the AIDS outreach center, chemo. Then I had to go to the emergency room because of this couple of skin conditions that have manifested. And I didn't think I would make it. And when I saw him, I was happy to be here. And I'm very happy to watch this process. You've acted extremely in fairness. 15 years ago, I had an individual, I don't want to bring it up, but it did not go well. And when I stood up, the people they sided with me. And that other individual, it was unfortunate. One of the supervisors had passed. So there's a lot of emotion. That's why I feel like I need to sell the property.
Okay. While I was up here, do we have any questions? Okay. With that, we'll go ahead and close this matter to the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Sounds like there might be some extra reasons why it might take longer to repair this property, especially if there's vagrants that are constantly setting back any potential work. I think it'd be safe to push this back also to December 23rd, make it a 90-day window. Thoughts from the commission on that?
Well, I'm not sure I really heard a plan of getting it repaired. And given the history that we just heard about the continued, I don't know, occupation by others, and just, I'm not sure we're going to see much progress between now and if you add another, 30 days to the process, so.
Yeah. So up to 90 days, there isn't a huge requirement on it. It's just kind of just general about how long would this take. And when you add in that there's an extra hurdle of people that might come in and like steal stuff that's been put in there or not, it'd be feel safe to bump that up. If we said it was a 60-day project to begin with, and you factor in some stuff might get taken. I think that's safe. In reality, it might be longer, but we didn't hear anything to that effect. Hopefully, this will all be sold and as quickly as possible. Although, in light of the assessment, I'm not sure who would want to buy this.
Well, I think we're still going to be faced with the same problem if it sells. So, I mean,
yeah, that
new buyer isn't going to come in here and say, "Oh, I'm going to take care of this," today. I don't know. I mean,
well, then at the 90-day window, we'll have an order outstanding, and the new buyer might get fined for noncompliance, or the city staff can move ahead with demolishing it at that time. So it's the way that goes.
So do you, would you want to have them reappear in November?
No, I don't think there's. Okay. I having been through this a few times, a sale going through between now and November, low percentage. Usually it takes a lot longer than you always think that happens. So if there were an order to appear, it would be in the January meeting. Is there an order to appear and staff recommended? Is that for January?
There is, and it's for the January hearing, Commissioner Dodd.
Okay. So are we go with 90 days, do we think? Yeah, that's the same either way. I think it's a bit splitting here. I'm not sure it's going to make much difference to the outcome, but. Okay, with that, I'll make the motion to adopt staff's recommendation full and push out the orders to repair or demolish to December 23rd, and Section 2 to have the dates December 23rd and December 24th, respectively.
And I second that motion.
And we have a second from Commissioner Smith. Mr. Welch? There we go. Yours is flashing. Okay, motion passes unanimously, and with that, we are adjourned.